Hi dear parents, welcome back to another math hour. Today I'm going to teach you how to do quadratic equations. Quadratic equations is a little bit more advanced level algebra. It involves using a lot of squares and exponents. And it's a step-by-step approach to the problems. It's not that hard, and the kids all have the skills necessary to do these problems. So I'm going to show you how we do it in class 310. Let's begin! So, let's take a look. Quadratic equation. First, let me show you what a quadratic equation looks like. I'm going to write a couple letters here. First letter, A. And right next to A, you're going to have a missing number, in this case x, and you're going to square it. Next, we're going to have another letter, and that letter is going to be letter B. And right next to letter B, you're going to have a missing number, which is also going to be x. X is always a missing number. And finally, you're going to have another number, and that number is going to be called C. And C is by itself, it has no missing number. And all of this is going to equal 0. And this is a quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now let me explain to you what exactly is a, b, and c. First things first, definitions, vocabulary. This letter a and this letter b have a specific name, and that name is called a coefficient. What does that mean? It means that there's always going to be a number right next to x. Always going to be a number right next to x. That's what the a and b are called, coefficients. C doesn't have a missing number. C is by itself. C has no x with it. So that's why C is not a coefficient. A coefficient is only a number which is right next to x, together as family. Now, let us see what all this means. So ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Let me show you using a real example of a quadratic equation. I'm going to put the example right here for you. So here's an example. How about this? Let's do m squared minus 5m minus 14 equals 0. This is a quadratic equation. You have ax squared, or missing number square, plus or minus missing number with the family again here, plus and minus some number over here, c, equals 0. And the first thing you've got to do in a quadratic equation is find out which number is a, which number is b, and which number is c. Let's do that first. So first I want to know, well, what is a equal to? I know that the number a has to be here, because a is always in the very first part of a quadratic equation. Like here, you see right there. I know that the number next to this letter, m, has got to be the letter b, right over here. See that? And I know that this number here has no missing number, so it must be the letter c. And now I can figure out what a and b and c are equal to. Well, let's take a look. A is equal to some number right here next to m. It's empty. There's no number over here. So what does that mean? Well, as I told the kids, whenever there is no number in front of x, y, z, or any other letter, if there's no number in front, that means it is automatically the number 1. So this is a 1. Always. So in this case, a equals 1. Let's try this one. This is pretty easy. What is b equal to? Well, B is the number in front of this m, and that number is minus 5. Why minus? Because minus is right next to the 5, and minus is part of the family. You've got to keep the family together. And finally, the last one, letter C. What is C equal to? Well, C is this number right here, and there's no missing number, so C is equal to minus 14. Keep the minus with the family. And there we go. We got the A, we got the B, we got the C. And that's how you identify A, B, and C in a quadratic equation. Let's try another problem. Let's try, let's see. And by the way, it doesn't have to be X. We can use M, K, L, who knows, any other letter. It doesn't have to be X all the time. Let's try another one. Let's try, how about this? 5x squared plus 3x minus 14 equals 0. Let's find out A, B, and C. Again, this number over here, the first number next to x squared will always be the letter A. This number next to this x over here will always be the letter B. And this number here will always be the letter C. So what is A equal to? A equals 5. What's B equal to? B is equal to plus 3, or just 3. And what's C equal to? C is equal to minus 14. And there we go. A, B, and C done. Let's try another example. Let's use a negative. How about this one? Minus 24k squared plus 18k minus 0.5 equals 0. Same thing. Let's find out A, B, and C. A is always going to be the first number. B will always be the number in the middle. C will always be the last number. What's A equal to? Well, 24. The minus is also there. Keep the family together. So A equals minus 24. B, let's take a look. 18 is a plus, plus 18. So the answer is positive 18. And C, let's see what number is in C. 0.5 and a minus. Keep family together. Minus 0.5. A, B, and C is done. See how easy this is? Let's try another example. All we're trying to do is find out A, B, and C. Let's try fractions. Let's try, 3 over 4 p squared minus 24p plus 2 over 3 equals 0. Let's do the same thing. Let's find out A, B, and C. A has to be the number in front of p squared. B has to be the number in front of p. And C is just this number right over here. So what's A equal to? 3 over 4. What's B equal to? Let's see, 24 and a minus with it. Keep the family together. Minus 24. And what's C equal to? Positive 2 over 3. And that's it. Positive 2 over 3. And that's it. A, B, and C. Let's do another one. See how easy this is. No problem. Let's try a more difficult one. Let's try minus 7s squared plus minus 3 over 4s plus 0.125 equals 0. Wow, what is all this? This looks weird. But it's not. It's pretty easy. Same thing. A is always going to be the number in front of s squared. So that's A. B is always going to be the number in front of the s. That's B. C is always going to be this number, C. So A is equal to 7 minus family together, minus 7. B is going to be, now be careful here. There's a minus 3 over 4 in front of the S. But guess what? We have two signs in here, plus and minus. You can't have two signs side by side. You got to turn this into one sign, only one sign. Break open the lock. How do you do that? Plus and minus becomes minus. So remove the plus, remove the minus, and just put minus in front. And now we can figure out B. B is equal to 3 over 4, and the plus and minus becomes minus. So it's minus 3 over 4. You see? And finally C is just this number right here, 0.125. There, that's how you do it. Done. Let's try another one. Let's do one more. One more. I'm going to show you sometimes a problem that looks like this. You could get a problem that looks like 5n squared minus 2 over 3 equals 0. 5n squared minus 2 over 3 equals 0. A, B, and C, how do we do this? Well, I know that this is an n squared here, so this has to be A. Now, we got a problem. Where is the other n? There is no other n. There's no B. So we can't even put B. But we do know that there's a